Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, we're going to go into 5 science-backed reasons that you're going to want to put vinegar back into your diet. And it's specifically apple cider vinegar, but there are a lot of great vinegars out there, and the science is showing us we may want to add this in to our diet on a regular basis, not just for overall health, but specifically weight loss. So if you're new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. I'm a woman on a mission to get the whole world metabolically healthy, so I'm super happy you're here. Just hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and let's dive in. Okay, so I'm going to go through 5 different reasons you want to add vinegar back in. All 5 of these were done on apple cider vinegar, so that's going to be the vinegar that I really recommend that you bring in. Although all vinegar has some of these benefits, the science has just been done a lot on apple cider vinegar. So here are the 5. The first 2 are all around your gut microbiome. So the first one that's really relevant, especially for those of you that are working with building a fasting lifestyle, is that apple cider vinegar is high in polyphenols. So remember, if you read Fast Like a Girl, I really lay out how important a diet that is rich in what I call the 3 Ps. For polyphenol, probiotic, and prebiotic foods. The reason that that is important is those are the foods that feed your microbiome. So when we put apple cider vinegar into our diet, we're feeding the good microbes. Now, what's interesting about that is, remember, those of you that are fasting, especially when you go into the longer fasts, like 24-hour fasts, you are changing the terrain on the inside of your gut, giving a great opportunity for the good microbes to grow. So think about using apple cider vinegar. Maybe you could do it in a drink, you could do it in a salad dressing, in that meal that you add back in after a longer fast. Because the fast itself is going to help to balance out the terrain on the inside of your gut. But then when you add the meal with apple cider vinegar, you're going to grow all these good bacteria. Now, to take this knowledge that I want you to embrace around how important this step is that when we grow the good bacteria, those bacteria, there's actually a connection from your small intestine to your liver that are going to help your liver make better ketones, more ketones, and burn more fat. So let's make this applicable to you. You're building your fasting lifestyle. Maybe you're not getting into ketosis as much as or as deeply as you would like. Maybe you're not losing weight as quickly as you would like. Well, let's lean into those longer fasts, and then let's make sure that when you break your fast, you're putting apple cider vinegar on whatever that meal is, so we can regrow good bacteria that are going to have a long-term benefit to you in your ketogenic weight loss efforts. Okay. Second thing I want you to know about apple cider vinegar that is backed by science is that it shows that it actually kills the bad bacteria. Now, the study I'm going to link here says more about E. coli, that apple cider vinegar has been known to kill E. coli. So if we take these first 2 steps, it increases polyphenols, which is going to grow the good, and it kills E. coli, which is going to kill the bad. And then we pair that with some of these longer fasts, you now have this crazy tool to reset your microbiome, not only leading to better weight loss, but remember, the microbiome, the good bacteria also makes you B vitamins. It also is going to make you neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, for better mental health. So it also impacts your immunity. So it's such a simple tool paired with a fasting lifestyle that can have this profound effect on your microbiome. Okay, third one. This is for those weight loss people. Let's dive into insulin sensitivity and really talk about what apple cider vinegar can do here. This was really interesting to me, is that apple cider vinegar improves insulin sensitivity specifically after a high carb meal. So check this out. This is a really cool way for you to use this tool, is that 60 minutes post high carb meal. I know you all are going to ask me, what's a high carb meal? I mean, we all have a little different variation. The study didn't say what the high carb meal was, but to me, a high carb meal is something that's like 150 grams of carbohydrates or more. That would be net carbs. So let's use the principles I teach you in Fast Like a Girl. On our hormone feasting days, if you want to keep glucose up, but you want to be able to make sure that glucose is getting into your cells through increasing insulin sensitivity, could we use apple cider vinegar, specifically 2 tablespoons post high carb meal, to be able to start to increase insulin sensitivity so that your body can use that glucose more efficiently? I personally love that as a tool. The second part of this, another study that I found, showed that 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar at night before you go to bed resulted in a 4% drop in your fasting blood sugar at night. So those of you that are waking up with the dawn effect, which you're getting these high amounts of glucose in the morning, or if you're seeing a lot of liver dumping of glucose at 2 in the morning, which I talked a lot about here on my channel around fasting, what if you just take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and you drink it before you go to bed? That's going to help even out your blood sugar levels so you wake up with a lower fasting blood sugar reading, which is great, which is moving you towards the fat burning place that you want to be with your fasting lifestyle and help you burn fat quicker. So I like that idea. So we now have, it's going to improve the microbiome. It's going to change the terrain in our gut so we can move into ketosis a little deeper. We also now have that after a high carb meal, we can use apple cider vinegar to bring make better insulin sensitivity in our body. And now we can use it before dinner to bring our fasting blood glucose down for the morning. I mean, we're already at like a really good, vast amount of reasons to be doing apple cider vinegar, but I'm not done. Let's keep going. Fourth point is that studies have shown that after a high carb meal, when you do apple cider vinegar, that they're finding that people were getting full quicker. So this is for my people who are like, oh, I'm like learning to fast, and all of a sudden I go to bring food back into the equation, and all of a sudden I just eat and eat and eat, and I can't control myself. Okay, well, if we want to increase fullness in a high carb meal, what science is showing us is that 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar resulted in a 200 to 250 calorie decrease in the amount of calories that you eat when you bring apple cider vinegar into the picture. That's pretty big. I mean, so now we're increasing fullness just by adding apple cider vinegar in. We're getting better insulin sensitivity, and we're changing the microbiome. But that's not it. That's not the end. I'm not ending there. The 5th point here, which is really interesting because it was done on a long-term view, 12 weeks. What they did is they took 2 groups and they reduced their calorie intake by 250 calories over 12 weeks. And they wanted to see what happened to these 2 groups. But one group, they added in, again, I don't know what it is about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, but they added in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And they found that the group that added in these 2 tablespoons, plus they decreased calories, they saw a greater loss in their hip circumference. So they're losing weight around their hips. They also saw their total BMI go down, but also their triglycerides go down and their HDLs go up. So those of you that are looking as you're building this fasting lifestyle and you're starting to see that your cholesterol's going up, okay, well, let's start adding in long-term 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and let's see if that has a long-term effect on your triglycerides and the elevation of your HDLs. Those of you that are trying to lose weight, especially around your hips, okay, Let's start to add 2 tablespoons in and see if we can lose that weight around your hips. And then just for overall BMI, I know a lot of you that are trying to get pregnant and you've been told by your doctor that your BMI is too high and you're never going to get pregnant, or those of you who are really struggling with just overall maybe cardiovascular health and your doctor has said lower your BMI, why don't we just add 2 tablespoons in of apple cider vinegar over the long haul? So 12 weeks. So that is impressive science. And some of these studies I'm going to link are small. You can go check, those of you that are science hounds, go check that out. And some of these studies are a little bit bigger. A little bigger sample size, but nevertheless, those are 5 reasons to bring vinegar back into your diet. So a lot of nuance there. I wanted to make sure that you all know this. I know this is a very popular conversation. I wanted to take this research and map it to what I'm teaching you with a fasting lifestyle. Fasting and food is your door into better metabolic health. I love fasting, but when we pair it with amazing foods like apple cider vinegar, I mean, it shows us once again, we don't need to get overcomplicated with weight loss. We just need to be smart. And all these studies are proving that. What I really want you to think about is a term that I probably haven't brought to you enough called glycation. So glycation is where your red blood cells are gooked up with too much glucose. And glycation is the way to speeding up the aging process. So let me walk you through this for a moment. With a red blood cell that has a lot of glucose molecules on it, what the red blood cells in your body, one of their major purposes is to deliver oxygen to every single part of your body, specifically your brain. So if these think of it like pieces of gum on the outside of this red blood cell is gooked up with glucose, then it cannot deliver oxygen. And so what ends up happening is you end up with areas of the body that haven't been given oxygen, like the brain. And when the tissues don't get oxygen, they start to degenerate. So we've got to handle this glycation issue. And here's what I want you to think about. The measurement for glycation is hemoglobin A1C. So I know that like when you go into your doctor's office and they look at hemoglobin A1C, what they're doing is they're looking at, are you diabetic, pre-diabetic? Where are you on the diabetes line? But I want you to look at that hemoglobin A1C from the lens of longevity. And longevity says we need hemoglobin A1C under 5. The closer we get to 4.5, the better for our long-term existence. And here on the planet also will start to minimize chronic diseases. So let's get a hemoglobin A1C of somewhere between 4.5 to 5. Now you're not gumming up these red blood cells. Now you're getting oxygen to other parts of your body. So just want to point that out, that's the target we're going for when it comes to slowing down the aging process. Now, where does apple cider vinegar fit into that? Okay, let's go there. It's super fun. First thing is that it literally stabilizes your blood sugar. So I've done videos on this. This is how I know you all love this. Please go watch those videos. I'm sure my team will put some links in here for you. But apple cider vinegar before a meal or after a meal brings your blood sugar down. I have tested it on my meter when I'm wearing one. Absolutely works. Highly recommend that you use it to stabilize blood sugar. Okay, well now what does that do for longevity? How does that tie in? Well, let's say I eat a meal that's high in carbohydrates. And all of a sudden I eat that meal, maybe it's pasta, and I realize, oh no, like that was way too high of a glucose meal. You come in with apple cider vinegar, take a tablespoon of it, put it in some water, drink it, and all of a sudden now your miraculous body starts to bring down that blood sugar, making it easier for you to switch over into the fasted state. Now, that same meal without apple cider vinegar may stay high for several hours, and it may be difficult for that blood sugar to come down. Remember, if you can't use that glucose, it's going to be stored. And where in the places this glucose gets stored is around the red blood cell, which is affecting this hemoglobin A1C number, affecting the oxygen that's being delivered to the body. Like I'm giving you the keys to the longevity kingdom right now. We got to get that number under control. And we can do that by stabilizing our blood sugar, and so grateful for apple cider vinegar for helping us do that. Okay, second thing apple cider vinegar does is that it's an incredible prebiotic for the microbes in our gut. Now, I talked a lot about microbes here on this channel. I gave you a whole chapter on microbes in the menopause reset, but the microbes in our gut do a lot of things for us. But one of the things that I don't think these microbes get enough credit for, and I'm writing about this currently in my new book, is how they support serotonin production. So 80 to 90% of serotonin is made in the gut. And if we can have nice diversity of microbes, we can make a lot of serotonin. And the more serotonin you are, the happier you are, in theory. Now, I can't tell you if you have a horrible life that all of a sudden you get a dose of serotonin and everything's going to be better. But in general, we know that if we can improve our serotonin system, typically we'll improve happiness. Okay, well, what does that have to do with longevity? Well, we have to remember that stress, when we are unhappy, there is clinical research over and over and over again saying that the more chronically stressed we are, the more we start to damage neurons in our brain. And the more neurons are damaged, the more our memory goes, the more our focus goes, the more our happiness goes, the more our brain fog, sleep, memory processing, the less we can learn. All the things that we fear as we age can happen if we've been living a life of chronic stress. So let's fix that system. And the door in using apple cider vinegar is let's incorporate it every day. Let's put it in our drinks. Let's put it before our meals. Let's put it after our meal. Let's put it in our salad dressings. And if we do a little bit every day, we're supporting these microbes that will make serotonin for you. You might find after a couple of weeks of doing that, you're just a little bit happier. And if you're a little bit happier, you might be able to handle stress better. And if you can handle stress better, all of a sudden now you're not degenerating neurons. And if you're not degenerating neurons, you're not aging in a very fast way. For the brain, the name of the game is neuroplasticity and keeping those neurons working really well as we age. Did you catch that? That's the cascading effect and how simple something like apple cider vinegar can be to really change the aging game. Okay, got one more for you. That's not it. That's not it. And I get it. Like apple cider vinegar is pretty miraculous. But here's the third one, is that apple cider vinegar is going to help you switch over much quicker into fat burning mode. Okay, you know how when you're trying to get in and out of fat burner, sugar burner, and sometimes you struggle? It might be that you have a metabolic blocker that's at play here. Want to know what those blockers are? Click on the link above and I'll take you straight to a giveaway and you can have my list of metabolic blockers. Now, why would you want to switch over there? And this is for if you want to lose weight or don't want to lose weight. Why would you want to be over in fat burning mode a little bit more? And here's why. Is that once we're over here, I want to think of it like it's a little bit like a vacation. Like you're over here and there's like, oh, you could lose weight. You can repair neurons. You can make more dopamine. You can get more dopamine receptor sites. You can reboot your white blood cells. What do you want to do? It's like an all-inclusive vacation when you come on over here with lots of options. Well, when we're trying to slow down the aging process, what we want is we want more ketones to help support neuronal health. We want our immune system, we want the white blood cells to go away that are bad so we can get new white blood cells. We want to repair our gut microbiome. We need new dopamine receptor sites, like all of the things that aging starts to wear down. The more I'm in a fasted state, the more I start to be able to hang there longer to get all that repair. This is why so many people are crazy about fasting outside of weight loss, is because the anti-aging effect. Okay, well, where does apple cider vinegar fit into that? Well, this is where if we can use apple cider vinegar like a lever that helps with this glucose over here. So you don't get this real high spike. We use it just to be able to control this better. You're going to metabolically switch over there quicker. So some of you will, I've seen your comments that you're like, I'm going 24 hours, 36 hours, and I'm not able to get a ketone. What's wrong with me? Well, let's come back over to here, to the food system, to the sugar burning system, and let's try to get that blood, like no blood sugar spikes. Like the name of the game would be like very little blood sugar spikes, but we could use apple cider vinegar in conjunction with our meals to make sure that we don't get that spike. And if you don't get that spike, you may move over into fat burning quicker. And once you're over there, now we're getting better white blood cells, dopamine receptors, repairing the gut, stem cells, all the things we want for aging. We just moved over there quicker using apple cider vinegar. See how that works? So it's not complicated and it's not a party trick. It's not like, it's like when I do a video like this, I'm definitely not going to be like telling you like, drink some apple cider vinegar and you'll stay, 20 forever. Or you'll reverse your age. It doesn't work like that. But it does have a magical approach to it, and that's why I wanted to give you the whole formula so you understood it. Here's sort of a big picture idea. Again, I want you to understand the concepts so that you can start to think through your health for yourself and not get caught into looking at little clickbaity and quick hacks that we think are going to transform our life. Because the thing that transforms your life is really understanding how this body works. And when you understand how the body works, it becomes really easy to figure out how to use something like apple cider vinegar. So here are the major concepts of apple cider vinegar that I want you to think about. 1, apple cider vinegar changes your microbiome of your gut. Now this is really important because we have good bacteria in our gut and we have bad bacteria in our gut. So the good bacteria are going to help us not only regulate blood sugar. So when you eat a meal, this good bacteria is going to help to bring your blood sugar down and make it so that you can switch over into the fat burning state much quicker, metabolically switch like I've taught you here. So we want to feed these good bacteria, and apple cider vinegar will do that. It is a prebiotic for these good bacteria. But the other thing it does that's really cool is that it'll kill pathogens. So like a lot of you have sugar cravings, and this can be from a fungus called Candida. And with Candida, what we'll see is that you're trying so hard to bring the blood sugar levels down by not eating carbs, not eating a lot of sugar. But you can't because there's this fungus in your gut that's making you crave those carbs. So when you're eating apple cider vinegar, you're helping to kill that pathogen. We also know that apple cider vinegar can kill things like E. coli, bacteria in the gut that might be causing you things like bloating or might be causing you to have craved other foods that you are trying to stay away from. So these bacteria have a life of their own, and the bad ones make you crave the bad food. So let's make sure we kill those and support the good bacteria. That's what apple cider vinegar can do. With that in mind, then where we would put the timing of apple cider vinegar would actually be in and on an empty stomach. So think about that for a moment. Just a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in your fasting window when you're already changing your microbiome through fasting can really accelerate your microbiome state. So those of you that have SIBO, those of you that are constipated, you have diarrhea, those of you that aren't getting the weight loss benefit you want over here, try something as simple as a scoop of a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water in your fasting window and see if that starts to make a difference in the microbial makeup of your gut so that you do start to get more benefit from the fasted state. Second major concept that apple cider vinegar can do is it can start to regulate your blood sugar. So this is a bunch of research is showing if you do apple cider vinegar before a meal, whatever you eat after that is going to help to bring that blood sugar down much quicker. So if you know you're going into a carbohydrate-rich meal, have a scoop of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water, or you can just drink it straight if you want, before the meal so you don't get a high blood sugar spike. Those of you that are following the principles of Fast Like a Girl, where I'm teaching you how to bring up your carbohydrate load in order to be able to support progesterone. What you might do, if you're nervous about bringing your blood sugar, your carbohydrate level up too high, what you might do is some apple cider vinegar before a hormone feasting day, so that you can switch over quicker and you can start to get more fat burning even though you're at that part of your cycle where your hormones are high. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go read Fast Like a Girl. This is the whole premise, is how do we dip in and out of different carbohydrate states to support our hormones? And how do we dip in and out of different fasting lengths to support our hormones? So when we bring carbohydrates up, we might also bring apple cider vinegar up so we can regulate that blood sugar better. Second place we can look at bringing apple cider vinegar into the picture can be after a meal. Now, this has all happened to us. So let's talk to you guys that are like, and I see this question all the time. Those of you who ask me, God, I opened up my eating window and then I just binge ate something. I just ate. I went in, I meant to eat something well, and I just went crazy. Put in the notes in the comments if that's you, because we've all done that. So what you would do if all of a sudden you, let's say, fasted 15 hours, you're so proud of yourself, and then you open up the refrigerator and the next thing you know, you ate too many carbohydrates, you ate too much, and your blood sugar now is really high. What about some apple cider vinegar? Put some apple cider vinegar in a cup of water, drink a cup of water with that apple cider vinegar, and it's going to bring down your blood sugar. Another really interesting hack I like when you know that you've brought the glucose level up too high is that go for a walk. Use that glucose. If you can't go for a walk, do air squats. Just stand up and down and do up and down squats so that you can mobilize the glucose that came from the food you just ate. So we can use it as a recovery tool from a bad meal. We can use it knowing that we're going to eat more carbohydrates as a preventative tool before a meal. Both of them, we're looking at how we can stabilize blood sugar. And then we're using it in the fasted state to be able to support a healthy microbiome. So it's a really cool, simple hack that we all can do. Now, if you're like me, I don't really like the taste of it. So that's why you hear me keep saying, put it in water, because I want to put it in water, drink it as fast as I can, because I don't really like the taste of it. Sometimes I'll put it in my salad dressings as well, because I'm already putting vinegar in there. So I hope that helps. And I really want you to see that fat loss sometimes can be really about a formula. It's not always about discipline and gritting it. It's about stabilizing your blood sugar. It's about learning how to metabolically switch. It's about supporting a healthy microbiome so it can help you not only create all these yummy neurotransmitters that make you feel good, but also can make sure that you switch over into the fat burning state quicker. There's so many miracles to our body that we haven't been taught. And when we look at something as simple as the benefit of apple cider vinegar on weight loss, all of a sudden we realize how freaking miraculous our body is designed to be. And we're designed to be in communication with nature, with these fermented type foods like apple cider vinegar. That's how we thrive. So let me know if that helps. I know you all love the apple cider vinegar videos that I do. And as always, I love your weight loss stories. So since this is a video about fat loss, put in the comments how much weight you've lost. Freaking blows my mind. I love it. So please let me see how much weight you've lost. And if you're struggling to lose weight, please let me know if you try these hacks, how they work for you. You know, as always, the information I'm giving you here is for your benefit. I really want you to love living in this incredible body you've been given. So let me know if that helps, but just don't give up on yourself. You're truly a miracle. I know you're struggling to lose weight. It may be your fasting length. So in this video, I'm going to show you the perfect fasting length to unstick weight loss. In fact, it's such an incredible tool for weight loss. I think you should start with fasting before you change your food to be able to get into that door in for losing weight.